This is the Kitchen Table Magician, and welcome back to Building Blocks, a series dedicated to what I think are the most important cards you should pick up if you're a beginner, or maybe you've been out of the game for a while and you're looking to get back in. I was originally going to do a 5-part series, one dedicated to each of the colors, but I think I'm going to extend that out a little bit to maybe color some multi-color staples and maybe some artifact staples in the future. So we've already covered green in the first episode, so today what I want to talk about is some red. So yes, if you're new and you're not quite sure where to begin picking up cards, this is going to be for you. Alright, so red. When I think about red, what I think about first is burn and direct damage, and red does that better than any other color. And so the first thing you want to start looking for is sorceries and instants that are really good at that, and so we'll start talking about some instants first. And the best one, in my opinion, that's ever been printed, and this is all the way back to Alpha, is Lightning Bolt. 1 red, 3 direct damage at instant speed to any target you want. This has been reprinted in a lot of core sets. It was in Alpha up through all the early ones, and then was reprinted again in M10 and dominated M10 Standard as a reprint, and is just very good. Also, a runner-up or a really good alternative is Incinerate, which this first saw print in Ice Age and then was reprinted as a replacement to Lightning Bolt in pretty much every core set past that. A lot of times I will run actually a full play set of each of these in my really aggressive decks. So I'll have 8 of these running around. But it's basically a Lightning Bolt for 1 extra mana and will take care of creatures that regenerate. And then you have your sorcery speed direct burn spells. The oldest of the bunch is Fireball, and still one of my favorites. 1 red, X amount of mana, you decide how much, and then it deals that amount of damage. And Fireball you can split evenly among any number of targets by paying an extra mana for each target beyond the first. So that was the first one, and still one of the betters. The most vanilla version you can find is Blaze, 10th edition, some earlier ones, but not too much earlier. But this is the most vanilla Fireball you'll find. It is X damage any target or player, and that's that. The best one is a rare. It might be a little pricey, and by that I mean maybe $5 or $6. But this is Banefire. Again, X damage divided, or put it however you want. But the thing is, if X is 5 or more, Banefire can't be countered by spells or abilities, and the damage can't be prevented. So this is really, really, really good against control decks, especially blue-white. Okay, so something else red can do, but isn't really famous for it, is some mana ramp. It's got a couple of pieces that I recommend. The first and best is Seething Song. You pay 3 mana, you get 5 back out at instant speed. This will allow you to get some of the bigger things out, like dragons, or if you need to ramp up a Fireball to make it even bigger, you can do that. And then to a lesser degree, Kamigawa Block had Desperate Ritual. 2 mana, you get 3 back out. Also, being a Kamigawa Block card, it had Splice. So if you have 2 of these in your hand, you can splice one onto the other. But I only own 1 playset of these. I really, Seething Song is actually my favorite and the better of the 2. So, but look for those. And then as far as creatures go, I love dragons. And red does dragons better than any of the other colors. And the oldest one is Shivan Dragon. And these can be picked up for pennies. I mean, well, not pennies, but maybe $1 or $2. And this dates all the way back to Alpha. Has been printed in almost every core set I can think of. But 5/5 flying for 6, and for 1 red you can give it +1/+0, and you can activate that multiple times in a turn. So this is a nice big beat stick that won't cost you any money, and just a way to get started in dragons. Another dragon I recommend that's not too bad is, and this is probably $2-3, and this was in Zendikar, is Hellkite Charger, 5/5 flying and haste for 6. And the haste is what makes this guy a rock star, the 5/5 flying and haste. Yes, he has this other ability that's more of a wall of text, and I don't think I've ever used it. I just have him in there for the haste, honestly. That's really, really aggressive. All right, so another really good red sorcery that's you should own is Pyroclasm. This takes care of a lot of pesky token decks, really other aggressive decks. If you're playing dragons and you want to keep all the little crap off the table, Pyroclasm will do that for you. It's 2 damage to each creature. Also, if you're going a little bit wide with hasting creatures that are a little bit bigger, this will still help you out. It gets all those elf decks, soldier decks, other goblin decks, stuff like that out of your way. So this is good, and you want to pick up some of these. And then also in red is also a very aggressive color, and so you want to look for small aggressive creatures. And some examples I have here, I have a Raging Goblin, which is a 1-drop 1/1 haste. I have Goblin Bushwhacker, which with the kicker will give you a 2/1 with haste, and all of your other creatures get +1/+0 till the end of the turn. So this was also from Zendikar. This is a really aggressive creature. I play this in my Goblin Tribals. I play it in other just generic red decks. He's really, really good. Some other hasters. This is a 3/1 trample and haste for 2. You do have to sacrifice it at the end of your turn, but it has unearth, so it comes back. So you can hit with this guy twice. And then if you can, couple him with a combat trick, something like Titan Strength. This was from Origins, but there's many others similar to this. Giving a creature +3/+1 until the end of the turn at instant speed. You can see where this can get out of control in a big hurry. So these kinds of things are what you want to look for. Most recently, Speedway Fanatic came out in Kaladesh. That's the most recent haster that I found that I like. 2/1 haste. Has the ability to crew a vehicle and give that vehicle haste as well. So those are the kinds of things that you look for in red. A little bit about red philosophy. Thanks for watching.